Martial arts and comedy are two subjects which go together like peanut butter and cheese.
Comedy is based in some form or another on misery, social discomfort, lack of clarity, unintended consequence. But one of the most successful forms is through physical violence.
Because what's more hilarious than major concussions or broken bones?
Jackie Chan is the obvious example, multiplying awesome choreography with brilliant physical humor, worthy of Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin.
But instead of being inspired by something like Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton, what if the martial arts comedians were instead inspired by the Looney Tunes? Well, then you get whatever this film is. Before we go any further, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Our goal is to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so let's make it happen, and click that button.
Directed, written, and starring Stephen Chow, the 2004 released martial arts comedy has gone down as an instant classic of the 2000s, along with other hits such as Ip Man.
So is this film actually as good as people say it is, or do the jokes just deflect from the problems? Let's take a closer look and find out.
During a time where gangs and corruption reign supreme, gambling and prostitution are the norm, murder is common, and drug use is as exclusive as a glass of water. Are you sure we're not just talking about California? The top gang in town is the Axe Gang, and our protagonist, along with his sidekick, played by Si Chung Lam, want to be a part of it. On their travels, they come to the lower region of Pigsty, where the reference to hustle the people are interceded when the people refuse to put up with their bullshit. Soon, the Axe Gang are notified of the place and try to assert control, only to find themselves on the receiving end of 3 Kung Fu masters. Soon, the Axe Gang sends specialized assassins to the town to wipe out the masters, only to discover the landlords are in fact retired masters in their own right. What, is there a convention or something? Why are there so many masters in this one place? Quickly running out of options, the gang have our protagonist release the most powerful of Kung Fu masters to fight for them and wipe out this town once and for all. Will the landlord survive a battle with the beast? Will the protagonist realize the true path? Will any more masters come out of the woodwork?
But that's not important right now. What is the wanton violence.
It feels only natural for something as wood-seducing as a martial arts film to be mingled with the chaotic, violent nature of a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Next thing you know, Daffy Duck will be in a Donnie Yen film. But just how effective is all this wanton destruction in an actual fight scene? Let's take a look and find out.
The fight scene we'll be taking a look at today involves the 3 OG masters who have been told to pack up and leave by the landlady out of fear of them bringing more heat to the town.
I mean, surely the smarter option is to say, oh, I don't know, have these 3 masters train other people in their respective styles, maybe open a school or 2, you know, maybe charge money, bring some extra income into the village, you know, something like that? No? Okay, well, what do I know then?
Well, in fairness, the landlords were themselves former masters and elected to stay out of the fight after the death of their son.
Problem being, the fight has found you.
I get wanting to live a quiet life, but when trouble finds you and it's time to get to work, you don't bury your head in the sand.
A wise king never seeks out war, but he must always be ready for it.
Whatever, it seems the trouble is afoot, as there's one master finds as...
Alf, dinner's ready!
Oh, any last meows? Huh? No? Then I'll see you in a few days.
We then turn to our second master, the tailor, and the true master of the 10 rings, as another in this duo of dastardly desperados depraved of Dharma, or rather, another harpist who moves to take out the tailor. The harpist uses a grabbing movement, which I would guess is based on tiger-style kung fu, as the sound effects and manicure also indicates. Man, these two be most Gen Z girls with these nails. Meanwhile, the tailor apparently uses Iron Fist technique. Iron Fist, or Iron Bone, is a form of conditioning training where you condition work and pressure the body until you are able to withstand heavy blows. Ways to do this would involve striking trees, punching rocks, being struck in softer areas repeatedly.
I think it's only sinking in now that people that do martial arts are sick people.
They move into a series of blocks and strikes, including sticking to the wall by doing the splits, but the harpist lands a blow to the chest, leading into more blocks and strikes, and while that's happening, I'm wondering how cheap the construction was on these walls. The fight moves outside, and the tailor uses a toe kick to send the harpist away, but
Now there are two of them.
as the tailor evades their attack with an aerial cartwheel. But oh no, their music has too many vibes and shatters the iron rings. Not to worry, because our third master, the noodle maker, intercepts the violent vibrations. This guy uses a spear, certainly a flexible weapon, and one with a lot of application behind it.
For more details, see this video.
As the noodle maker counters several strikes with counter strikes of his own. It's here where we see a benchmark of this film's choreography, utilizing the techniques and hallmarks of wuxia.
Come on!
Using a series of backward spins mid-air, moving then into utilizing twin spears.
I must confess, I'm not really too familiar with twin spears, but I am familiar with twin swords. And overall, these movements are quite similar to Xuan Dao.
The twisting around the body, the spinning technique, not much to comment on really.
I just think they're neat.
The only major difference being the greater reach advantage. Moving on, the maker kicks 3 spears into their direction, moving in to strike with the 4th, but it does not fare too well. So I guess in this case the harp is mightier than the spear? But before the harpist can kill the maker, the tailor intercepts and takes the blows instead.
But wait, what's this?
Leopold! Leopold!
Shit, it's Leopold! And that's only the warm-up.
For a new challenger approaches, it's the landlord. The landlord evades and swirls past their attacks, by also turning into a CGI apparently. Actually, my guess so far based on the feel is that this is some form of Bagua Zhang, a style which uses evasive, defensive strategy, the idea being not to overpower the opponent, but instead to basically let them defeat themselves, which is exactly what the landlord has done so far. Plus, seeing as how Bagua Zhang was the inspiration for airbending, try and tell me that Aang would not move like that. The landlord proceeds to wrist lock and throw the two in a way I'm guessing is inspired by Chinna, a style based around locks and grapple, to seize and control the opponent, as the landlord softens them up some more, throwing them and finishing in a stance very much Bagua Zhang.
So, is this the part where Upper finishes them off?
No, instead, the landlady and Leopold close us out.
God damn, what a way to close a fight scene. See, this sort of thing is just why I love to make these sorts of videos. There is nothing quite like just sticking a camera on some martial arts masters and just watching them go to town, go to work, and do what they do best. It's almost magical in a way.
Let me say now actually, hats off to Ki Yuen. We last saw her in Young Tiger, with this being her first film in nearly 20 years, and what a way to come back. Clearly she stole the film here, as did Hua Yuang. In this case, it is actually a reunion of sorts, since they both attended the China Peking Opera School, along with Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung. The film leads into the release of the Beast, a kung fu master so powerful few can even challenge him, one that I thought was Bolo until I checked the IMDb. Oops. The landlords try to fight him to no avail, so it is Singh who must take up the fight after his chi paths have been cleared, making him suddenly a master martial artist.
Okay, he's supposed to be this sort of chosen one type, but what was it that was said about talent versus hard work? Exactly.
This guy has not trained since he was a kid, from what we're given to understand, and he's, what, in his late 20s? Early 30s?
Look, I don't care how high your midichlorian count is, if you've not been keeping up with your foundational work, I call bullshit. The idea of Singh's story is about finding purpose, and of working towards the true path in life. And to not be distracted by the temporary parts of the world, like sex, money, and drugs.
These things phase quickly. are used up or are empty pursuits, while the true path of purpose, discipline, dedication, and honor are true and fulfilling, as punctuated when Sing defeats the beast, who elects to become his disciple and find the true path rather than focus purely on victory, and Sing finds a fulfilling life.
So what are we left with this film?
Sure, the action and comedic sensibilities are top tier, and the simple story keeps things going at a brisk pace.
I myself was quite surprised to find that I had gone halfway through the film and it only had felt like 10 minutes had passed.
With the cartoonish sensibilities creating a high energy feeling that automatically puts you in a good mood.
Why do people classify this as a high-end film?
Fundamentally because this is a fable, a fairy tale, with hyper-realized action. Simple story, likable characters, and a clear morality story.
Well, what else can you say, but...